สวัสดีค่ะ everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cucumber flower and many more of the inside of the flower design. So we're going to start off with a cucumber here, and you're going to cut a section of the cucumber into a petal shape. Okay. Try not to cut it too thick. Okay, I had 5 sections of the skin of the green there. Okay, and leave it attached to the bottom there. See there? Let me cut off a little bit so they can be stand up, flatten. Okay, there it is. And for the side piece, we're gonna carve some more, but we're gonna stop right there and go ahead create a petal shape of our cucumber first, the first layer. I'm gonna cut it round shape first. Make sure you drag it on the side and trim off some of the uneven cut there, or you can lay it flat like this. If you can see it, might be easy for you. Okay, whichever way you are comfortable with, but don't try to shape off too much on the side because you don't have much space to be trimming out. Each section is quite limited space. They're quite small already, so try to trim less. Okay, now we got all this going, and we're gonna shape the side of the section. For the next layer, I'm gonna use this tool here and scrape off this corner here instead of cutting out such a ways. So I'm go ahead and shape this corner into a thin strip to add a little interesting effect on to our flower here. If you don't have a tool, then skip this step, or if you can use the knife, that is fine, up to you. See, they're hard to see. You have to soak it in the water after we have finished. Okay, there you go. Look something like that. Now the next step is we're gonna have to carve a petal that is go in between this section here, so you need to square them out and cut slide. Make sure you're not gonna cut this little piece there. So when you drag it, try to ease on your tension when you get into the bottom. You know, don't push it too hard. You're gonna cut that little piece out. And pull it out with your hand to get the strip cutting off. Okay, that's the basic. I'm just gonna show you this and how to insert the center. So this method might be had been done already, but I want to show you different technique of the center of the flower, so we're gonna get a basic shape going. If you are afraid you're gonna cut your slide, get you protecting guard and put it there and go ahead, thin slide. Okay, that keep the little piece away from the blade of your knife. If you are new to my channel, you don't need to buy this guard. Get a lid of plastic or a plastic bottle or whatever plastic that you have laying around the house and cut into a flat surface to be your protecting guard or your personal cutting board, I will say, because it can be used in any way you like. We only going to cut only 2 layers, okay, because this cucumber quite small and it's already reached the seed area, which is not gonna look pretty when you start slicing it, because it's gonna have a seed on your petals. Last petal. Okay, there you go. 5 petals going. See the wall, it become thinner, okay, and it had reached the seed. So we're gonna stop right here and insert the center of the flower. Stay tuned. At this stage, we're gonna cut out the center of the cucumber here. Use your knife, insert it down, and be very careful not to cut any of the slice that you have created and twist it out. Easy as that, okay? Now we're gonna carve the petals of each section here. This one kind of thick. Because you want to show the outer side of your petal, you need to lower the inside petal, the second layer of the cucumber here down a little bit. So when you trim it, be sure to lower them. You can trim it this way or you can trim it this way, whichever way you are comfortable with, okay? If you cut it this shape, can you see there? Then this narrow part can be inserted into your cutting or your carving, okay? Now for the petals, I'm gonna go ahead and trim it all the way to the base here, rounded shape with a tip, sharp tip on top. Okay, it's exposing the green area. Whatever shape you wanted to do this time, go ahead and design your flower. When you cut it, try to remember you need to lower the petals, but the tip can be as long as the same length, but the actually petal is lowering, so you can see better there. Well, I think that a little low, so I have to go back. Otherwise my flower not gonna look the same. Okay, I have to go back here and lower my petals a little bit. Okay, that might be a little too long. Sorry guys. You get to my age, sometimes my eyesight is not precise as used to be. Okay, that look much better. Continue. One last one. There you go. Now, see how pretty that already. Okay, you're gonna put this in water, just room temperature or tap water, while you're working on the center of the flower. So stay tuned. For the easy and simple center is the melon bar scooper. I have this with the two heads, larger and smaller one. I'm gonna use the smaller one because the center of my flower not that big. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my scooper here to scoop out this carrot here. It might be a little hard, guy, because carrot is very dense and it's difficult to scoop out, but I'm pretty sure everyone can do this. Okay, so you have this well, I don't do it well, I guess, a little bit too hard for me. This ball here that you can create the center of the flower here, but I'm gonna do something different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide this off a tiny bit. Okay, then I'm going to insert this. Oh, it doesn't go back. I could slide it too much, I guess. Let me trim this a little smaller since I trim too much. Okay, we will use the toothpick, but right now you have the idea that I'm gonna insert this back. So what I need to do, I'm gonna cut this piece a little thicker. Now this is another step. Okay, this is the basic, but I'm gonna go further than just the basic. So let me use the toothpick here so you guys can see it better. Okay, then what you need to do, we're gonna trim this, carve this into a checkerboard pattern. Now I'm still working the simple, but I'm adding another step. So the simple is you're just gonna do the ball here and then with the checkerboard, okay? But I'm go a little step further on this technique. When you trim it, try to do an angle. Don't cut it straight down. You slant your knife tiny bit on both sides so they will meet, and then cut off the strip there. Okay. Okay, there you go. Now on this side here, I'm going to use my scooper here and scoop out. Okay. Create a petals. I say this is the advanced step of the basic. Okay. Then you go back and start trimming out this okay, but this is not supposed to be exposed. Go back and trim underneath. So when you look down, you're supposed to see just a tiny flower here. See there? Okay, that is the first and second design of the center of flower. Remember that the first one is just the ball with the checkerboard. This is the second I add to the side of the cutting here. Okay, now let's bring back our flower from the water here. I soak it in the water. Put this inside of the center with the toothpick and push it in. If the center is a little larger than the spade, oh, I think my toothpick is too short. Let me get a longer one. It will spread out your flower, make your flower open up more. See there? When you push it, the flower open up more. Okay? There you go. That is first design of the center of the flower. Okay, for another design, I'm gonna use this canopy cutter or cookie cutter here. See there? To create the center of the flower. If you have it, use it. If you don't find, just keep in mind that if you go shopping, you see this. This is very easy and versatile. You can use this anything that you are creating with this canopy cutter here. I'm gonna cut the center of the flower. Be sure they are a little larger than you ring here, and then I'm gonna cut down to the height where my flower gonna be. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim it slightly. So when I cut my push the design on, it will cut and come out easily. Okay, don't cut it through, just slightly run your knife on the side. Then go ahead and push this in the center of the file. Be sure you have a little space on the outside, and I will show you why we are doing that if I have more space here. Okay, then go ahead and push it in, and then pull it out, and then try to trim out the outside where you have cut it. Okay, so I didn't cut it deep enough, but I don't want to cut through, so I try not to cut too much. You see there, it leaves the design on the top of your center of the file. You can cut it out just like this and use it straight, just like the design. I'm just going another step, make it a little nice and pretty for our carving here, to add more value and interesting effect on our carving. Okay, once you have the design on, I'm gonna go ahead and use my U-shape cutter here and go ahead and insert that in the center. Don't go too deep, just create a little hole on the center there. Okay, now further addition, go ahead and scoop out a tiny scoop. See there, voila, you're creating a layer effect on your carving. You add a value, interest, and depth into your piece of work. Okay, with a help of a tool that you have. Okay, there you are. Now, at this point, go ahead and cut it out. Don't cut it too thick because we're gonna trim it. Okay, this is the center of your file, but no, I'm not finished. You're gonna go ahead and run your knife here and cut a little triangle on the side here, or a jagged edge, whatever you want to call it. Actually, you can use a V-shaped one and scoop it out, but I want to keep a basic so everyone can do it. If you don't have a tool, try to get an idea how to get your carving done. Okay, there's center of your flower. So we're gonna put this into the flower here. Let's bring back our flower. Here it is, and insert that in the center there. Let me get the toothpick. Voila, is that beautiful? Give you a piece of flower in a beautiful center there. Look like you spend a lot of time on this, but actually you're not, okay? So that is our second design of our center of the flower. So stay tuned, don't miss this video. I'm going to show you more how to create a beautiful center of your flower. Let's change our basic carving here, flower, another design, another step, okay? So we're going to change the look of this flower here. I'm gonna cut another layer of the flower here. So this might be too big. Let's see. Let's use the other one, or you can use the knife if you prefer. The tool might be too big. That's too big. So let's use the small one. You can use a triangle or a rounded shape. Since this is round here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the round shape. I'm gonna insert my U-shape cut here halfway, and then I'm gonna drag the line or cut down to open up another layer, okay? See there? Continue. Take the tip of the knife, push it down, and your thumb on the right hand and left hand push it up. This push it down, so you separating the opening of the cut, okay? Be sure you cut through each section. If you don't have a tool, go ahead and use the knife to cut out the opening. So sometimes the opening not going to be the same precise size, because your hand is not going to be exact the same piece of tool, okay? So that's depend how you want your carving to look. Okay, there it is, guys. Another design, voila. See there? So you have this design, okay, on the outside that gave a little interest into your carving. You also can do the same inside if you like. So let's start on our next centerpiece design carving, shall we? For the next design of the center of our flower, you're gonna cut your carving about 1 inches length in of the carrot, okay? Then you're gonna trim it so the bottom it become smaller than the top. Okay, and try to smooth it out. the bottom part here is like a cone shape. Bottom part here should be the same size or fit into your cucumber. Okay, so you might have to check your cucumber opening here, the center of your cucumber, whether this bottom fit into that or not. But I know mine is, so I don't need to do that. So let's go ahead and use, this time I'm going to use the tool again. Let's see, try to use the U-shaped one. Okay, and if you have this smaller one, you can. They have different design here that you can use. See there? But I'm going to use this side here. I'm going to go ahead and scrape almost to the bottom, but not quite. Okay, we're going to shape into a little strip. Don't push it too hard to create a thick strip. Okay, the lighter you push, the thinner of the strip you are creating. So you need to play around with your tool so know how it works with your pressure and the cut of the tool. Now once you have that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see, before I trim it out, I'm gonna scoop this out first with my melon ball here. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Okay, they're not quite pretty, but you go back and kind of roughly trim it out. Okay, now let's trim this out. Actually, you want to cut it out, but want to trim it out first before we cut it out. Okay, now let's cut it out. Okay, there you go. Well, I just trimmed that off anyway. And then you're gonna insert this back in here. You can leave this round like that if you like, or go back to the checkerboard. So I'm gonna leave it round like that. Maybe I trim the sides so they don't fan out too much. Trim the edge here a little rounder, so it fit into there like that. Okay, let's insert our center and push that in and put it back in here. Voila, is that beautiful? So you have a beautiful center into this type of design. It brings up the beautiful color of your flower here, and the flower here fanning out 2 layer, it make it very elegant and pretty. What do you think? Is that beautiful? Okay, what do you think, guys? 3 different design of the center of flower, actually 4, because you have a little button checkerboard here that I insert into this disc here. So you have a beautiful design of the center of your flower, easy and simple, and you learn 2 techniques of how to create this basic cucumber flower here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this segment with me, and stay carving, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ everyone. Take care. See you again next video.